This is a video on perpendicular lines. We've talked about parallel lines, how they're lines that run exactly identical to each other, alongside each other, and so they have the same slope. But then we have something called perpendicular lines. Perpendicular just means at right angles to each other. So those two lines are perpendicular because all these angles around here are right angles. The special thing about slope and perpendicular lines is that if we know the slope of one of these lines, say we know that that slope is -2/3, then we know that the slope of the line that's perpendicular to it is what is called the negative reciprocal. You flip the slope and you change the sign. So if it's a negative sign, you change it to a positive. If it's a positive sign, you change it to a negative. So flip the slope and change the sign. So that's the first thing to remember. When we've got perpendicular slopes, that's how we work out what they are, what the actual value of the slope is. So for example, if I draw this and that, and the slope of that is 7/6, I know the slope of this one down here is -6/7. I flip it and I change the sign. Now, if we're doing problems like this, a line passes through the point 2, 1, and is perpendicular to a line with the equation -2x plus 3y equals 5. Find the equation of this line. Now, the first thing with questions like this is that it's always easy and a great idea to draw a diagram. So we're going to put the point 2, 1. It doesn't have to be exact. And I'm going to plot a line going through it. Now, I don't know exactly where the line 2x plus 3y equals 5 is, but I know it's perpendicular to this line. Alright, so I'm just going to draw a line in perpendicular, and I'm going to call that line 2x, -2x, plus 3y equals 5, because that's going to help me. Now, to find the equation of the line, I need two things. I need the slope, and I need the y-intercept. To find the slope, all I'm going to do is substitute. I'm going to try and rearrange this equation, -2x plus 3y equals 5. I'm going to rearrange that and find what its slope is. And then I know the slope of the line that I'm interested in will be the negative reciprocal. So let's rearrange this one here. We've got -2x plus 3y equals 5. We want to get rid of the -2x, so we're going to add it. So we're going to get 3y equals 5 plus 2x. If I add 2x to this side, -2x plus 2x is 0, so I don't need to write it. Then I want to get rid of that 3, and I'm going to do that by dividing by 3. So I'll divide both sides by 3, and I'll write that as y equals 5/3 plus 2/3x. Now, we know our general equation of the line is y equals mx plus c. So, the number in front of the x is the slope. So in this case, the slope of that, so our slope of the -2x plus 3y equals 5 is 2/3. Now, then, in order to find the slope of the line perpendicular, you just flip the fraction and change the sign. So it's going to be 3/2, and we're going to change that sign to a negative sign. Now we've found the slope of the line. Okay, so our slope is -3/2 because we found the slope of the line that was perpendicular to our line, and then we found the negative reciprocal. So our slope is -3/2. How do we find the rest of the equation? We found the slope, we need to find c. So we're just going to write it in general as much as we know. Y equals -3 on 2x plus c. Then we're going to sub in our point, and our point is 2, 1. So we're going to sub in 2, 1. Remember, this is x, y, like that. So we're going to go 1 equals negative 3 on 2 times by 2, because x is 2, y is 1, plus c. Now remember, if you've ever got times by 2 or times by 3, that's really times by 2 over 1. So we can just cancel. We can cancel diagonally. If we're multiplying, we are allowed to cancel diagonally. So we get left with 1 equals negative 3 times 1. When we cancel, we get left with 1. So that's just negative 3 over 1, which is negative 3, plus c. Then we want to get rid of the negative 3, so we're going to add 3, and we're going to get 4 equals c. So our answer to this question then is y is going to equal negative 3 onto x plus 4. And that's how we solve questions about perpendicular lines.